In today's society, it is so easy to get lost in the shuffle. We are surrounded by data and information and websites and hashtags, and it can really get pretty overwhelming. You've got to get a handle on your brand, your marketing, and how you're going to get it out to your ideal target market. And it's not a good idea to try to do that alone. What I would recommend you do is get involved in these BAM marketing sessions that are being put together by Genie Rocket. It's absolutely phenomenal. They'll give you practical skills. They'll walk you step by step on how you can get a handle on your brand, what it looks like to define your target market, and begin to put the building blocks in place so that you can launch your business into this stratosphere.
Go ahead and say hello in chat. Introduce yourselves. I am Brad Parnell with Genie Rocket. We're running this today. I help people get more booked appointments, build their whole systems in a day, and help them know how to get leads and follow up with the leads. So we are going to get started here. If you guys are already probably in this community, BAM is just where I post all the online replays and stuff. So if you're not on here, you can join. You can go to joinbam.co or scan the QR code. And today we are going to be talking about mega batching. You guys ever heard that term before? I know it sounds like a term that maybe Tina would use because it sounds like a made-up word, but it's creating high-value content at scale in a short time frame. And the reason why that's important is because whenever we think about marketing, we typically think about what? Ads or creating content or posting on social or doing blogs or a podcast. And it can feel very overwhelming because a lot of us don't have, or we tell ourselves we don't have the time in the day to create content, right? If I told you, hey, spend an hour and a half every single day for the next 5 days to actually work on creating content, a lot of us wouldn't be able just to carve that out. Or if we could, we might not want to carve that out just to be creating content for your business. So we're going to be talking about mega batching, which really is just compressing time, and it's going to help you provide consistent marketing content. And content marketing is huge, and we'll go into kind of some different channels that you can use content marketing for. But if you're not creating content for your business or no one's creating content for you, you are missing out on not just being found, but also educating people of the pain that you're helping them avoid or the outcome that they are seeking to get, right? Just because Dale exists as Badass Foundation and he's got a beautiful website, if he just sits there, like people, yep, that was a little bit self-gratifying, but people aren't just going to naturally come to his website, right? If you build it, they will not come. He's got to get out there and post on social, post on do LinkedIn, do videos, like it's a lot. And the website becomes something that validates him, but they're not just going to accidentally find it. So the channels that we're going to talk about for mega batching, the ones that we recommend and we're going to talk about are for podcasts, social media, blogs, email, and YouTube. And don't worry, because I'm not saying you have to do all of these, but these are the ones that you almost can think about. You have options to choose from. And usually what I challenge people with, or the question I ask people is when they say, well, what should I start with? Like, should I do YouTube? Should I do X? Should I do Facebook? Like, what kind of content should I do? Is think about where you're naturally skilled at the most, right? So if you're good at writing, there's a specific channel that you should focus on. If you're naturally gifted at writing and you actually like writing, if you're good at speaking, if you're good at like getting up in front of people and having conversation and speaking, and that's your gifting, or maybe you're good at video, where David can just turn his phone around and hit play, and he doesn't freeze up and fall over and have to go into a corner and shake. Think about like where you are the most skilled or talented or gifted. And if none of these check the box, that's okay. Just choose one and get better at it. But if you are great at writing, then I would say focus your content strategy on doing blogs or emails. Blogs are great too because they help with SEO. We all hopefully know what SEO is by now. If not, it's okay. It's search engine optimization. The more pages you can put in the world of Google, the more likely you're going to be found. And so blogs just give you a way to constantly produce great content for your dream customer. So you might eventually be found when someone searches. And a good way to think about creating blog content is you're answering the question of your dream customer. So if Keisha is trying to do more animated videos for businesses, a blog title for her might be, "Do animated videos actually help my business grow?" Right? Thinking about what would a dream client be asking her, and she writes the blog post as an answer to that. And guess what? That's what they're going to actually be typing into Google, right? They're going to be typing in, does animated video help my business grow? Or does high performance coaching actually help me achieve blank? So when you can really get into the psychology, the mindset of your dream customer, what questions they're asking you, turn those into blog posts. If you're great at speaking, do a podcast. Podcasts are great. Dale has one. Dale, have you done a podcast yet? No, you just have an amazing looking design on one. And we have it all set up, but you're going to do one soon, right? Okay. So you can get on like Spotify for podcasters on your phone right now for free, download it, and actually set up your own podcast. And guys, I used to record it from my noisy Jeep, like Jeep Wrangler loud. I would drop my kids off at school in Colleyville, from my phone, record the podcast. And before I walked in the door here, it would be published and it was on its way to be sent to Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all of that from my phone with little effort, like time I was already spending driving in the car. Were they the best, most highly quality produced podcasts you've ever heard? No, but that's okay, because people would rather hear something that's authentic and real than perfect and right. So podcasts are great. Like, for example, we talked about for Dale, if he can interview folks that are his dream customers and about their success stories of getting in the water, that's going to inspire other people to do the same. And when people ask him like, "Hey Dale, like, what do you do?" or, "How do you help people?" Instead of him just saying, "Hey, go to my website," or here's my business card, he can say, "Hey, I've got a great podcast where I've actually interviewed someone that I think you should listen to." And that's a lot more captivating because nobody wants to go to a website or look at a business card, but they might watch a video. They might listen to a podcast. And if you're really good at video, get on YouTube, do YouTube videos. And same thing applies. You don't have to start with the most expensive cameras and microphones and all the lights and all the production, right? Turn your phone around and just start. And guess what? If it takes off and gets better, over time, you can slowly upgrade your equipment. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of people that have all the YouTube plaques in the back that are getting checks from YouTube in the mail, and they're still using their iPhone and like maybe a lapel mic they got from Best Buy for a couple $100, right? Because again, people aren't watching it because the quality, they're watching it for the content. So those are the channels I would be thinking about and almost committing to yourself today which channel you want to focus on and just be consistent at it, right? If you guys heard of Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels, you guys have, he talks a lot about like finding one channel and spending the next, is it like 100 days or the next year? 365 days, every single day, and just committing to yourself without stopping to post content on that channel. Is it intimidating? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. Will you have days that you don't want to do it? Yes. But it's creating discipline in yourself, and you are going to get better, period. Your first ones are probably going to suck. Russell talks about when he started his podcast called like marketing in my car or marketing in his car. He had no idea how many people were listening to it, didn't look at the stats, but he would also just record in his car. And ironically, he drove a Jeep Wrangler. So I'm hoping one day my bank account will look like Russell's. Kidding, not kidding. But it was like his friends and family. Like he had nobody listening to his podcast. And it wasn't until episode like in his hundreds that he started getting traction and taking off. But if he never started down here with friends and family only, he would have never gotten up here. So I want to encourage you guys when you're doing content, don't expect it to be all up here from day one, right? But over time, when you do that consistently, you're going to get better and better. Okay, so we're going to do a fun little collaboration. How many people do we have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Each of you are going to have a partner. So partner up. This will just take a minute. And online, I've got something special for you too, so hang on. So find someone that doesn't know your business very well. and just give a 2-minute explanation to them of like what you do, what your business is about. And then what I want the next person to do, so if David and Jonathan are working together, so Jonathan would say, David, tell me about your business. You'd give a quick explanation. And then Jonathan, I want you to ask, it doesn't have to be 10, that's a lot, but maybe some specific real questions. Like if you were seriously considering his coaching, what questions would you have for him? And that will give David a couple good ideas of like, these might be good podcasts or blogs or videos. And then we're going to flip it and you're going to do the same. So I'd love for you guys to walk out of here with some actual questions. You're not just telling yourself, right? Because sometimes it can be a false positive. I'm like, oh yeah, my dream customer would definitely ask blank. Like, no, they wouldn't. So you guys, I want you to actually think about it from a realistic perspective, right? Like what questions would you really have for that person? Don't think that they're dumb. Just keep it simple. And then for those of you online, you guys can go ahead and do that, partner up. And for those of you online, I want you to think about this. Think about 2 questions that you get asked about in your business all the time. Then think about 2 questions they should be asking. And then 2 topics you are passionate about teaching and 2 major challenges, your audience struggles with. So take some time. I'm going to leave the screen up, but I want you to write those down. And this will give you 8 different topics that should then get you 8 weeks of great content you can work with. So go ahead and do that. And I will be back on here in just a moment. All right, guys, we are about to jump back in. Thanks for being on pause with me. Hopefully you're able to get those 8 things done. That's going to help you with creating some awesome content. So we're just about to jump back in. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap up. I'm so sorry. You guys can definitely continue this later, or I'll make special sessions. Was this valuable to everyone? Was it interesting to hear like some different perspectives of questions being asked? Hopefully you guys got some good ideas. Yeah, it's a great question. That's awesome, but that's what we want, right? It's like the real questions, because do you guys know what the worst kind of objections are for your business? Do you guys know what the worst objections are for your business? Like the worst kind of objections you get? Yes, the ones that I never hear. The ones that you never hear. It's the unspoken objections. Because if we didn't have this environment, not many people meeting with David, because everyone is just so nice. No one's going to say, David, why the heck would I work with you, man? Like, what's different from all the other coaches? That's your fault, dude. If you can't even grow a hair, why would I be business? Yeah. But so the important thing, though, is if we understand what the unspoken objections are for our business, and we come out and address those before they're asked, then we are going to be way ahead of the game, right? We know the common objections, right? It's cost too much, it takes too much time, is the quality good or bad? Those are the top 3, right? Time, cost, money. So obviously answer those, but then you go a step deeper and you think about what are the true objections that no one will tell you to your face that you need to answer, and that's going to get you way ahead of the competition. Okay, so we're going to go through real quick here with those different channels we talked about, how to now use that content. You should have like a list of a few different things that you can use for writing content. If you're doing podcast mega batching, you should pre-record your intros and outros. Those should be used every time, right? You have a really nice intro, a really nice outro. If you don't know how to do that, it's intimidating. Go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, find someone to do it. They'll make it sound good. It's not hard. And then schedule a day of back-to-back interviews, either with people or just yourself, because you want to produce and save as many episodes as you can. And then you schedule and release those over time. So instead of Dale scheduling like one podcast every other day for a long time, like that's going to be just like interruptions in his schedule. His mind is going to have to like jump from doing this kind of work to this kind of work. It's going to sound like maybe even a little bit rushed sometimes. He might not sound like himself. But if he commits to a full day and prepares his mind to say, this is my day for doing podcasts, either I'm going to do like 10 episodes just on my own with little breaks, or I've scheduled 10 people back to back with little breaks in between. He can knock that out, and then he can decide if he wants to release those once a week, once a month, and he can have great content for a long time. Blog mega batching, pretty easy. Write content for each of those frequently asked questions or content topics. Introduction, outro, and call to action. Guys, this is a thing that most people don't do in blogs, is have a call to action at the end. So if you have an article you're writing, if Tina is writing about how to show up for your personality-driven headshot and not make it a failure, and she writes the full article, at the end, if it just ends with, thanks, let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, thanks for reading. Like, she missed a huge opportunity. Because if she cracked open someone's minds on that blog post, and they are now in the position to get excited to do a personality-driven portrait, what's the next step for them? It could be a direct call to action to like book a consultation, or it could be an intermediate call to action like download my free style guide for personality-driven portraits. But whatever that is, have them take a next step into that journey. Yes, Adam.
What's your opinion on, I've heard that, what was your opinion on that, including call to action in every single, on all the content that you put out, as compared to like Gary Vee's model of jab, jab, jab,
Mhm.
where you wait, you value, with nothing asked for, and then all of a sudden you hit them with that call to action.
Yeah, so my thought is the call to action doesn't have to be an ask, it can be more give. So it kind of like you get two birds with one stone, right? Because if someone is on the hyperbaric chamber, they're reading about it and they're uncertain about it, at the end of the blog post, you're not saying call to buy now. You're saying, hey, for an in-depth, like side-by-side comparison of hyperbaric chambers versus blank, get this download. So they're actually selecting to take the next step in the sales cycle, and you're giving them extreme value. So it's a win-win on both sides. Great question. Yeah, so then you can save and schedule blog posts. Again, if you want to do it weekly or bi-weekly, that's how you can do some blog mega batching. Same thing for social media. Write the content, include a great supporting graphic or video. It's always good to keep like a pattern of topics. So an example is if you say, hey, the framework for my business, the things that I really want to be known for, follows in the line of education, fun, culture, faith, whatever it might be. So you say, I'm going to write a blog about that's going to educate people. I'm going to write one that, or social media, one that's a little more fun, one that's based on team culture, and maybe one that's based on faith. Like, what are the core tenets that matter the most to you? And then creating a great, consistent posting of those topics just to keep it fun and lively. It's not just the same thing every day going out. And you don't have to call it and be like, this is my faith post, right? You just do something that's a little faith driven. And then you can save and schedule them out weekly or bi-weekly. Same thing. Okay, and then, yeah, so best way to get these out, I think a lot of you in here have Genie Rocket. If you have Genie Rocket, you can do all this through Genie Rocket. If you didn't know this, you can create blogs in Genie Rocket and schedule them out. You can create social media posts in Genie Rocket and schedule them out. You cannot do podcasts in Genie Rocket, but you can use Spotify by Anchor for free, which is a great one. And then obviously like YouTube video, just straight YouTube. You can shoot those videos, schedule them out. And I was going to give you guys all a free gift too. The most important thing when you're coming up with content is knowing who your dream customer is. Because if you are just creating something for someone or something for everyone, it's not going to hit, right? Like whenever you're doing your messages, kind of marketing 101, you can't just say, hey, everyone, it's kind of the Mary Kay, right? Hey, if you've got skin and you're a male or female, I can help you. It's like, that's not a compelling story. But, for example, for David, like the second I met David, and this is a real story, I'm not just trying to puff smoke here, but when I met David, I was already using Brendan Burchard's planner. Like I was following him, I was using his planner. So when I met David and he said, I'm a high performance coach following Brendan Burchard's curriculum, I immediately was like, okay, you're going to be my guy. I know you don't know me yet, and I don't know you, but I feel like you're going to be my coach.
Yeah.
Right?
And then it was at that point, it was mine to either totally go the opposite direction, and you're like, dude, you're no longer my guy, or to prove you the thoughts that you had.
Yes. Right? Yep. And that's what's so neat about like when you go a little bit niche, or at least you understand who your audience is. David's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. But man, the people that like know what he does and who he is and who he follows, like people like me, like I wasn't even looking for a coach, but I immediately knew I wanted to work with David because of that. So when you can think about that for your business, it's going to be different for everybody. But this is just a free thing that just kind of is some things you can download and fill out. It'll shoot you an email, but it's going to help you know how to identify that dream, their hopes, fears, and desires. Where do they spend their time online? What are their goals in life? Because that's the stuff that you need to talk about. It's not about like what Tina likes and what she prefers and how she thinks everyone needs to be ready for the picture, right? It's what are her dream customers' biggest fears, their biggest hopes, their biggest dreams, their biggest desires. And the more she can be an expert of creating content for them, addressing those things, they're going to be her biggest fan. It doesn't matter if she's the best photographer in the world or the worst. And I know you're the best. But you know, I think it's less about that product or service. Like I never interviewed anyone that David has coached. I've never heard any of his testimonials. But I trust that because who he's working under and just how he carries himself, like I don't need to know those things. So the more you can get niche specific in your messaging and solving the problem, the stronger it's going to be. All right. Any questions on that? Was that a helpful exercise for you guys to go through? Some value there? Any questions on any of those channels or things that you want to throw up to talk about? It's okay if there's no.
The whole concept behind YouTube is the number one search engine in the world is Google. Number two search engine in the world is YouTube.
Owned by Google.
Owned by Google. So
yeah.
if we want to create YouTube videos, then it's searchable. Right? That's the whole concept. So where we would be crazy not to be on YouTube.
That's right.
If we are creating content, it needs to be there because it's searchable.
That's right. Yeah. How many of you guys have a YouTube channel? Yeah? Don't go look at it.
Yeah, work on that intro and outro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's okay. I mean, you know, we talk about like podcast being a great channel, blogs being a great channel, YouTube being a great channel. I think just whatever you do, just stick with it. I think I don't know if challenge is the right word, but with the rise of AI and everybody being like a content creator, the beauty of YouTube and video is you can't fake that, right? Like Keisha King can't show up on YouTube and not be Keisha King unless she's doing like a review for something. And because we've seen the really bad, like, have you guys seen like the reviews of stuff and you can tell it's all AI? It's just like, that's dumb. Like people can tell, but not everyone can tell on a blog if it's AI or human. So there's going to be this rise of SEO where everyone's going to be doing SEO and content and blogs, and it's all going to be AI generated, and it's all going to be just like a big noise. But on YouTube, like that is original content, and I think that's why it's getting it's continuing to grow.
They're our stories.
That's right.
It's some made up thing. This is my experience, this is my story, and that's what people need to see.
That's right.
So we were talking about the whole concept of going live every day for a year. Mm-hmm. I went live for 450 times in a year.
Yeah.
But the thing that you get from that is you actually find your voice. You find out who you really are and your true message.
Yep.
And the great thing is in the beginning, nobody's watching.
Yep.
Thank the good Lord, right?
That's
'Cause
right.
you're terrible at it.
Yep.
But by the time you've done 100 and 200 videos, all of a sudden it's like, oh, no. You're like, I know who I am. This is cool.
That's
I can
right.
do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Just say you went live 450 times in a year.
Yeah.
And so can you explain to everybody what the progression looked like as far as
So the progression of it was very scripted in the beginning, like truly writing things down and trying to have to figure out what I'm going to say. And then it's like, no, I have a message to share. Let me just talk from the heart. So there's a progression to being able to just, okay, let me write this out ahead of time versus, no, you know what, I have a story to share today. Let me just share the story. So now you're talking from the heart instead of trying to memorize some crazy script or some stupid thing like that. So
did you also see a progression in the people who would view it?
oh yeah, the views got significantly more. Right. Yeah. Now where I messed up, where I would highly encourage everybody to do different than what I did, I didn't have a call to action. I did not use a call to action. Therefore, in a year's time, I didn't grow my list. I had nobody to market to. I had nowhere to capture my list, my leads, my emails. I had no genie rocket, right? So all I'm saying is I went wild. I won't say I wasted it. However, I wasted the opportunity that was there because I could have captured an actual audience that I could have been marketing to this whole time.
Yep.
And giving more value to, and then offering my group coaching and the one-to-one high ticket stuff.
Yep.
But instead, nothing.
I just say canned intro and canned outro. But
Well, on live videos, you can't really do that, but you can
But you have a
download
script
it.
that you memorize and you use your
Yeah, you
intro.
download it with the intro, the outro on it, and upload it to YouTube.
So when
Quick.
you knew the audience that you recruit, right? Like, so at 450, so
I just thought.
you're just
I don't know.
like circling.
Yeah, I just
And so those people were like,
Well, hey, where'd you go?
Dave?
Yeah, that's right.
You ghosted everyone.
I got bored of it. I got bored of it, so I just stopped doing it. Yeah.
So at the peak, how many viewers did you have?
Oh, I don't know. Like on YouTube, I had one with, I think it was, I don't even know, I said 50,000 views, that kind of stuff. But on Facebook, it wasn't more than 1,000.
Yeah.
1,500. So it's still better than nothing.
Yeah. What's neat too is I don't know if all YouTube ads accounts have this now, and I don't think you can do it live, but you can actually do like promoted videos within YouTube for pretty inexpensive. So if you have a video that you do and you're like, hey, this one's not half bad and it's already getting some organic viewership, you can promote that video on YouTube and say, I want to spend like X amount of dollars a day, and it can get, and you can say, I want it to be either higher quality or higher volume, and you can get like thousands of impressions,
So
views.
I had a client that we started our YouTube, not YouTube, but our TikTok channel at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So she did everything I told her to do.
Uh-huh.
She got 5,000 subscribers.
Yep.
I currently have 750. Because I stopped and she didn't.
Yep.
But she also promoted, like you're talking about, very inexpensively, promoted her stuff.
Yeah.
Now she's at 5,000 viewers.
Yeah.
I coached her live yesterday. So we did a full coaching session live. She had over 2,000 people watch that live coaching session.
Wow.
So we've decided we're going to do every one of her coaching sessions live on her channel to grow her audience.
What kind of business
Right.
is she in?
So what she's doing is a nonprofit to help the homeless.
Okay.
So her whole thing is backpacks for the homeless because she has a son who is drug addicted and on the street, and she can't really do anything to help him because he won't help himself.
Yeah.
But that's why the whole backpack process, the money, socks, underwear for women and for men to help them. And now we're moving into winter, so it'll be with a jacket and a hoodie, that kind of stuff to help them.
That's cool.
Blankets and that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that's what she's doing.
That's neat. And I think there's two, and we'll keep this going a little bit longer here and then we'll cut this off online. I think there's a rise too, like of personality brands. Like people want to, I know we've all heard it, it's kind of even painful to say because I've heard it so much, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust. But when you think about brands, like it's now more than ever, like people identify with the brand for their purchasing decision. And when they think about brand, they usually associate with a person, right? And so video is such a great way to help people to know your personality, your beliefs, your values, and they'll choose that product because of the person, because they're following the person and excited on the journey they're going to take them on, more so than the product, because the product's going to change, right? Like for example, like ClickFunnels and other softwares, like people bought into ClickFunnels way early and it kind of sucked, but they believed in Russell and where he was going to take them. If it was just like a software product that was faceless, I think it would have failed. But they had an enthusiastic personality and he had a big vision. He got people on board and he grew that thing like crazy. And again, it wasn't because of the product, it was because of the person. So I think we all have something to learn from that. And again, whether it's YouTube or whatever, like people are going to follow you and the right people that connect with you. You got to make sure you're taking them somewhere, like paint that picture of vision where you're going to take them.
Hey guys, the video that you're about to see is an interview with me and the owner of Wild at Heart Canine Academy. Just want to give you quick context before we jump in the interview. So she came in a year ago for our Rocket Fuel Retreat, which is our one-day intensive process where we basically set up a whole lead generation system for them. So we're checking in a year later and seeing what's happened. And I wanted to show you real quick just the results here, and she's going to walk you through this, but I wanted to visually show you while you're hearing from her, you can kind of contextualize what she's talking about. So this is in her account. This is the tool we use to kind of measure success. So in the course of a year, she's generated 548 Facebook leads. These are people that saw an ad and gave their name, email, and phone number. And then what's neat here is 66 of them actually turn into paying customers. Now, you might say like, hey, that's not a huge percentage, but here's the deal, guys. Her custom dog training is not cheap. And so these are very high value clients. So this is actually a huge game changer for her business. And so what happens is, this is an example when people fill out a form on Facebook, they automatically get a text message that invites them to a landing page. This is the landing page. So it's got, refresh this so you can see, but it's got a cool video in here. This is one that we shot and edited in her studio during the retreat that she did in one day. Built this whole page out, and it guides them to fill out this evaluation form. So we can see they get a text, links to the evaluation form. They get an email after they filled out the form. They get a text after they filled out the form. And you can see all the communication back and forth here. And that's it. And it works on autopilot. The thing that I love most about this conversation, before we hit record, I actually asked her like, hey, how much time do you spend on these leads? And she's like, I'm not even on Facebook that much. So these leads are just coming in from ads, filling out the form, booking into appointments, and generating revenue for her business, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you the quick video that's being used for the ad so you can get an idea of like, well, what's actually working to get in front of people to turn into leads. And then you'll see my interview with Hannah and learn more about her process and transformation.
Are you struggling with your owners? Are they scared to take you on walks on fear of what might happen? Are you making them feel stressed, embarrassed, or frustrated by your behavior? Are you ready to make real changes to make your owner proud and confident? Hi, my name is Hannah Keith and I'm the owner of Wild at Heart Canine Academy. We help you transform your canine companion from a fearful, anxious, and in general bad habit dog into an active companion that you're happy to take out in public with you. No matter the issue, age, or breed, we have seen it all. If you're looking to transform your dog's behavior, then the next step is very simple. Join the hundreds of happy dogs and happy owners today. Click the button below so we can send you the next steps to see if you're a good fit for our personalized and professional dog training programs.
Hey guys, I am here with Hannah. Hannah, thanks for agreeing to come on with me for a few minutes here.
Yeah, no problem.
And she is with Wild at Heart Canine Academy in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And guys, so the reason I asked Hannah to be on here is actually looking through accounts yesterday, and I realized I was like, man, Hannah's got a lot of Facebook leads, and it looks like a lot of those have actually turned into clients or gone through the process of turning into clients for you. And we just had a conversation about this, and you said you've been running the ads now. They've been on for about a year. Is that right?
Yeah, last March is when we got together and we made that ad, and it's been the same ad running for this whole time. So
That's cool. So same ad running. And again, kind of the pre-conversation here, what I found interesting was sometimes if you haven't ever done Facebook ads before, it can be a little like nerve-wracking to start. And especially like usually the first couple weeks or couple months, you can kind of like want to push the brakes on too soon or say, man, like ads don't work or this doesn't work. But overall, just how do you feel like in the past year the Facebook ads have impacted your business?
I went to the law so before we've already did the ad. I only just boost things on Instagram. I'm not a huge Facebook user, but since getting the ads, I was getting a lot of people from Facebook. That I way more larger amount of quantity I ever did get from Instagram, I believe. So I was getting people that they had been scrolling on Facebook and had seen so many times that they finally clicked it. And then I even had a couple people that were like sawing me around town, like, "You're a lady with the dog. I saw you on Facebook." So I think I got much larger reach and more specific area too, which is really cool. I think there's just a lot of people who are still going on Facebook and when they're scrolling, they're gonna see it so many times. So I think that was really, really beneficial for us. And it
Cool.
doesn't hurt that there's a dog in it, So everybody with a dog in their videos, let me know my opinion actors.
Right.
But you guys thought the walk me through it. I gave me it 47 times because I got nervous, but my dogs did great and were the best ones.
That's awesome, which is pretty common. I mean, most entrepreneurs, business owners are not professional marketers or not professional like used to being on camera. And I think that really goes to show, that you're like the people are experts in their field. Like you are an expert dog trainer, and that's what you should be. So when you highlight your expertise, and one of the things that you said offline earlier that I really liked is, you don't really have to do that much. Like the Facebook ads just kind of work. They go
Yeah.
out there and highlight your video. People fill out the form. They come in the Genie Rocket system, promotes them to fill I think that first form they fill out, like an intake form.
It's a form that asks a lot about like them, their needs, and what they're struggling with, and some questions that or like some like training. So we have some people that fill out that really like were in dire need of training or anything like that. But when they were like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting, I'll fill it out," and then I was able to call them later, which they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess it is important. I should try that." So
That's cool. And with the process, so when people come in, um, so they get that notification. The ones that don't immediately fill out the form, do you have any sort of manual follow-up process for them, or you just kind of let the system decide if?
I believe the system says some monitoring things like, "Hey, like, if that's all you were interested." And then I think I have a whole workload like set up, so it does help. Like, Kirby talked to them a couple times to encourage them to fill out the form. And then I've been trying to get everybody called just so it's like, "Hey, I'm always all on the ad or like one of my trainers, so that way I can like all over because people have to talk, to somebody and not just to them."
Yeah, that's cool. So it looks like, I don't know if I did all these filters right, but on your Genie Rocket account, I mean, it looks like for trainers assigned, to people that filled out that form, I have a trainer assigned to them that came from Facebook. It looks like there's about 66 folks over the last years that turned into trainer assigned leads or customers for you. Does that sound about right?
I think so.
Cool. How would you say, just from an overall like revenue perspective, the impact Facebook ads have had on your business this last year from just a growth and revenue standpoint?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, just with almost, 70 people, that's quite a bit. Our packages are, super cheap. I have some cheaper versions, but a lot of people really like it towards like the
the performance training program. So I think that really has helped a lot, especially in the slower months, when people are, walking around and you're still seeing and learning that training can still be effective thing.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you think you've learned, like, so over the past year, going into like another year of this, what do you think you would change or do different?
Hopefully when I saw more comfortable and be a little clearer on the video. And then I didn't have a huge idea of what I wanted the app to look like last time. I think some of the things I do next time is have making little videos of the things I offer. So just little fun clips that I can show as I'm talking over it or something like that. I didn't think that we brought a lot of attention because I did have my dog like doing cute tricks and stuff like that in the video. I think you could really like that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely do that again. But yeah, I would say they can give you some little clips of the different interwalk or like even just a catwalk so people can see other people utilizing the service in that.
Yeah, that's great. What do you think? So the leads that you have in here right now that haven't closed, so I mean, it looks like you've got, you know, like,
It's not the clap amazing song-based, but I think
yeah,
there's lots of different flavors of dog training. So some of the people that we invited with were the people that want the opposite spectrum of type of training I offer. They just are ready or don't like the fat training that we do, which is totally fine.
mhm.
And then there are some people who find you a little unwilling to wait until the problem is really big before they seek training. So they're like, oh, in the moment my dog's being really well, I need a trainer. But then my dog's being really cute, totally, not really needing it right now, so then they forget about it. But then that's more like it was like an impulse fill out. And then at the time when we call back my dog, yeah, I don't really need that.
Yeah, gotcha. But at least they're in your system, maybe top of mind for future if they need it, if they need it. So,
Definitely.
Hannah, what would you tell someone that's maybe hesitant, like if they think like, hey, I've never actually done real Facebook ads before, I've never done a video, I've never done a funnel, kind of on the fence, like not sure if I need to do that for my business. What would you tell them?
I started to do it right. That was pretty sad. I was like, I did not know what any of this meant or I would do it or like what looks good. So I definitely for me or something like that was I would have taken a lot longer to get the ball rolling and get it started. So like and that was super important. And then it feels very scary to do it, but you don't know until you try it. So I guess the next thing is, I had this one for a year, but I think you said you can change them as often as you want to and do a bunch of different stuff. So I think that would be like my next thing is I need to just get more comfortable doing new things. So now
Yeah,
that we can see that I have it something, just getting that more.
yeah, that's good. So guys, just kind of as a quick recap here. So Hannah came in for Rocket Fuel Retreat, spent the full day with me and team, shot her videos, built her site, launched the ads. Those ads have been up for a year and haven't changed really anything on the ad at all, right? It's been all just kind of set. Um,
Yeah.
and from that one event over a year, that's generated 548 Facebook leads, and it looks like at least 66 of those have turned into actual customers. And like Hannah said, those aren't necessarily like the cheapest, lowest ticket item customers. Like it's an investment to work with her and her team because they do great expert work. Um, so I think that's a good encouragement. If you're in the professional service industry or you offer something that is of need and you need to generate leads, Facebook is a great way to do it. And it can be a little bit hard to do it on your own. So when you work with me and a team to help you get your message out there, help launch ads, help you have those conversations, it can not just generate leads, but actually help impact your bottom line and give you customers to work with. Well, Hannah, thank you so much, for coming to the Rocket Fuel Retreat. I know that was a bold move, probably a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
was really
scary
scared
to
about that.
do.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's been really great. I like the software a lot and we've been enjoying it. So
that's awesome, Hannah. Well, hey, thanks for taking a few minutes to share about your successes, and we wish you all the future success and the continued funnels and ads and everything that you're doing over there.
thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, if you're a business owner, you understand you have to have great marketing to get the attention of your dream client. Here's the thing though, that usually takes a lot of money, and a crazy amount of time to accomplish. We believe every business needs a crystal clear message, a great sales funnel, a lead magnet they can give someone in exchange for their email, and great follow-up sequence to generate a new flow of leads to come into that system. What if you could have that entire process done in just one day by experts? That's where the Rocket Fuel Retreat comes in, where you can spend a whole day in Keller, Texas with us at our creative studio. The first thing you'll get is a strategic planning session. This is where we establish your dream client as the hero and how you fit in as the guide. Most of the time, websites are cluttered and confusing and pretty and pointless. We do things a little differently here at the Rocket Fuel Retreat. After your strategy marketing session, we get all of your ideas out of your head and onto the whiteboard. And then we use that messaging to help define and clearly execute your landing page. A good landing page needs a good traffic strategy. Our team sets you up with your first round of lead generating Facebook ads. In a digital world, it is extremely important to grab the attention of your dream customer online. We do that through highly engaging, high converting video content. We provide expert guidance and support setting up Genie Rocket, the tool, to help your business's process. We will shoot and edit your video sales letter for your landing page, your Facebook ad video, and a follow-up video that your customers will get as they engage through your funnel. We believe that the fortune is in the follow-up. This is where we work together to create an automated nurturing sequence to make sure that you never miss another sales opportunity, ever. We're going to ask you some questions just to see if it's a good fit for you. And spots do fill up fast. And as you can imagine, we can only do a limited number of these because it's our full team on deck dedicated just to you. It's not group training or group coaching. It's one-on-one with Genie Rocket. So click the button to apply below. I can't wait to hop on a call and see if it's a good fit for you.